It is a Thursday racing. We're back at that turffontein, and this time we're on the inside track. No features midweek, but certainly a very good competitive card with a few juveniles who opened the meeting. Certainly looking upwardly mobile, and it'll be good to welcome Gavin Arena back to the saddle. It's 12:25, the off time to that first of eight. And don't forget to get hold of us on our X handle, formerly known as a Twitter, or alternatively WhatsApp. I prefer the latter, and you can have a little bit of dialogue with Mrs. Marie or Burrows, or even both. And of course, they will keep you updated on what's happening in the terms of racing. It is also day three of Cheltenham Thursday, but we are focusing on our local meeting in the beautiful south of Johannesburg at 12:25, and we have a scratching. It's the Seven Stars and Bras, who's out of a four racing, welcomes you juvenile plate. Four fillies over the 1200 meters, leaves us a field of eight, and a championship seeking Mr. Richard Fourie, I should say, actually, record seeking, because I think the championship is in the bag. But his record is at around 209 after the meeting on a Tuesday. So Wednesday, we haven't updated. That was Hollywood Bets Gravel. But more power to him. Wish him well. Your thoughts on race number one? A warm welcome to you. And do you reckon that we can get a little bit of recompense after Saturday? Because Saturday was one of those days, huh? It looked straightforward, and then as you looked closer, it turned out to be.
Yeah, those Derby trials and
The Oaks trial.
the Oaks trial, normally difficult meetings. I mean, they're very competitive.
But Oaks trial, you had the form result. Your horse,
Yes, yeah.
Francis Ethel?
Yeah, Cecil, I don't know, with Richard raiding the half-felt midweek now, I'm sure that shows his intention to chase down that 3-3-4. So you have to take him seriously. I mean, he's come here with a mission. His first mount for the day happens to be number 2, Vision of Peace. Now, she came to the track with a bit of a reputation. She was expected to go close on debut, and I mean, she just held off the run-up across the pond. Cecil, I watched this filly move down to the start, and I thought she's got some substance about her. And I'm of the opinion that run under the belt would have brought on in leaps and bounds. I'm really keen to see how she goes. I think she's got a bit of class about her. And on form, she should have the beating of the race runners, because on debut, she beat Too Late, My Mate, who holds Mother City. So on a line through Too Late, My Mate, she's got the beating of Mother City, and also on a line through Intro. But in saying that, Mother City now does get the 3 kilograms. I'm of the opinion that the 1200 is a bit sharp for Mother City. She had the early toe, she came under pressure, and then she stayed on in the latter stages. Vision of Peace will, in my opinion, go back to back and remain unbeaten. I'm not too worried that she's drawn out, I think, in 5. I'd like to see her race off the fence, because she is a big daughter of Visionaire. I'm happy to bank her in the opening leg of the bipod.
That is a Vision of Peace. Let's have a look at that bipod selection, which opens up our meeting as far as exotics are concerned. And just to say, Gavin Arena on his return will team up with the stable of Johan Janssen van Vuren on the 3 Ignite the Light, and of course 8 Vavara. A little bit of a whisper on debut, and I'm sure we'll see improvements from Sean Terry Short. That is the 8. But banker, number 2, a Vision of Peace. Right, let's get into race number 2. As I said, there are juveniles that certainly will be worth taking note of as their careers continue. And in race number 2, well, one that did make an impression when winning at the second time of asking against winners was Dan from Santon. In spite of hanging into the towards the inside running rail, Striker just did enough to keep it balanced to get over the line. That is Dan from Santon, who is actually owned by guys from Benoni. It's 11 to 10, the one Dan from Santon. There was a bit of a whisper about the 3, Gatorix, and that was seen on classic days, now 2 to 1 from 18 to 10. Number 2, Final Try, that is at 9 to 2. It is 17 to 2 in from 10 to 1 about Valieva. Now, talking about the Founded Broncos charge, number 7, Valieva, would have been carded to run on Sunday, was the scratching, but it looks to be ready to take up its position on Thursday in the second of our 8 races, which is the first leg of the PA, Mr. Marie.
Yes, Cecil. You know, this horse number one, Danson from Santon. I happened to meet the boys
From
at,
Benoni.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
at the Betway Summer Cup.
Uh-huh.
Characters of note.
Yes.
And their charge by Willow Magic has done absolutely nothing wrong in his 2 starts to date. Very promising debut. Last time out, progressed nicely. I mean, in my mind, I thought he won easier than the half
That's right. He
length
really hung across.
margin suggests. I mean, Striker always had that race under control.
Yes. Yes.
And the way he was extending at the finish, one has to believe that he is going to love the 1200. So everything points to him running a huge race and possibly making a 2 from 3. The form line hasn't really lit up. I mean, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th all ran unplaced in the next start, but they were quite some distance behind him. So I like his chances, but he is taking on number 3. What's it?
Greaterix.
Greaterix.
Yes.
Like you touched on when you opened the preview for this race, so he came to the track with a bit of a reputation. One wouldn't suggest so. If you look at the betting, he started at 33-1, but he bumped a very, very strong field, and he was far from disgraced. He only got beaten 5.5 lengths. The winner and the runner both had racing experience on his side. He was the first of the unraced horses home. I don't know how much he could progress in 12 days, but he's got a lot of scope, Cecil, and I'm hoping he can show a little bit more pace this time round because that was a very strong field. I think the numbers 1 and 3 will dominate over here. Number 3 does get the 3 kgs pull in his favor, and that might be a telling factor. So I don't really want to separate the two of them.
Okay, so 1 and 3. Certainly, I think as a trainer, I'm not trying to get too clever here. If you've got Pistol Pete and the word going around as we look at your selections for that PA race number 2, I don't think you tell your jockey to cut the horse in half just to try and get close to Pistol Pete. Once you see that the race is done, I don't know, am I thinking on the right path?
You're 100%.
Yeah, I think you don't want to destroy horses'
You want to give them
confidence.
a promising, pleasing introduction.
Absolutely so. Right, so that is your place accumulator selection. It is an outlay of 128 Rand. Race number 2 is commencing at 1300 hours. One banker, and that comes about in race number 3, which we are going to discuss next. All right, we get into race 3, the first leg of the afternoon's pick 6. We've had the scratching of the 2 Trippy Stoon, who was a winner at Hollywood Bets, a Gravewell Sunday gone, and one of a double for the raiding Paul Peter, Tony Peter stable. And of course, I did Mr. Richard Ferree, Miss Justice. He's actually on a win, 210 wins before Wednesday had been tallied up. So we will give you an update. But it's a field of 11. Field of 11 as far as the betting is concerned. Number 1, Galadorn. That's your favorite at 12-10. Richard Ferree for a very informed Richard Brett Crawford stable. As far as second favoritism, well, that is the 8 High Q, and that's at around 9-2. And then after that, you're looking at numbers 11 City Lights and the 12 Like a Butterfly at 8-1. So beyond Galadorn, it does look a bit open.
Cecil, this is very interesting now. Who's the stable jockey to Brett Crawford on the Huffeld?
Cabello Mazziani, yeah.
Cabello Mazziani. So he's not riding Galadorn.
Yeah.
Obviously, Richard's phoned for this ride.
Uh-huh.
He's chasing that 3-3-4.
Uh-huh.
So you have to have respect for that. And this is a field that lacks quality.
Yes.
I don't know anything about the first timer, but the word in the front of the computer form is not positive whatsoever. You will need the experience. So of the form on offer here, it's one could actually say it's below par. So I have healthy respect for Galadorn. You know, last time out wasn't a bad effort. He was staying on over the 1400 on the stand side track. He's going to get the run of the race with Richard Ferree from a 2-draw. Penultimate start, he got a poor ride in the work riders race. 3 runs back beyond midwinter wind. The form line is actually working out extremely well. And if he just reproduces that effort, he will go very close to breaking out the maiden ranks. I mean, midwinter wind, I think, is 1-3. Donamo's won from there. So, like I say, he is going to run a big race because of the quality of his opposition. Now, who is the opposition? I think in a few months' time, number 8 could possibly be the best horse to come out of this race.
But you
And
guys
that's
are very
Haiku.
disparaging about Great Barrier Form Line, and it's been franked yet again, huh?
Yeah, but I'm still on the fence with regards to that form line. But have a look at his breeding. He's
Yes.
by Master My Fate out of Silver Mountain.
Okay.
He's going to go a trip.
Okay.
And who could have ridden this horse? Richard
Richard.
Free.
Uh-huh.
And he's chosen Galadorn over Haiku. So
This is why we love you, the
I'm of the
conspiracies.
opinion that this horse needs much further. I've backed up Galadorn in the pick 6 with the filly in the race. And her form's very average. Number 11, City Lights. But have a
Okay.
look, last time out, she wore the tongue tie for the first time, Cecil. She broke poorly. She moved up. Dennis will be more patient on her in the straight. I didn't think that it was a bad effort whatsoever. The winner trotted up by 5 lengths. So she is in receipt of 3 kilogram sex allowance, and I think that brings her into the play of year. So I like the looks of numbers 1 and 11. I have put in the scratching of the 2 to double up with Galador.
All right, so let's confirm. It is a 1, 2, and 11. We know the numbers for that first leg confirmed on the screen. And then we go on to leg 2, 2 and 4, 2 and 3 in a leg number 3. And as we proceed on, as you see there are no bankers, but we are hoping to make hay in that first leg with Richard, booting home a Galadorn for yet another win as he approaches or he chases that 3-3-4 come at the 31st of July. Race number 4, we are in maiden company once again. This is the www.tab4racing.com maiden plate. It's over the 1450 leg 1 of Jackpot 1. And those bets have to be on by 10 past 2. Right now we've got the 4 Zenobia's Gold in the colors of Sean Terry Racing, Richard Furey up. And he will be riding your favorite at 16-10. Quite a disparity between the second favorite, and that is the favorite and the second favorite. The 5 Green Fame is at 7-2. 9-2 is number 2. Villa Samaya, it is 5-1, and better bar those quoted runners. Villa Samaya will be having that 17th outing and had shown glimpses of getting out of those maidens once upon a time, but not to be. Maybe we'll rediscover that zest. But the 4 Zenobia's Gold nightly race, just the 3 runs.
Yeah, the top 2 in the betting are very lightly raced, Cecil. They're only having their 4th start to date. They're both having their second one after rest, so they are going to strip fitter. But on what they've shown to date, I wouldn't be jumping in and taking either of their prices on offer. I mean, Zenobia's Gold, fair comeback. It wasn't the greatest of fields on that day. I mean, Green Bubbles had her chances in the maiden. She took quite some time to get it right. And she moved up. She faded late. She can win a race like this. This isn't an overly strong field whatsoever. So I've got respect for her. I just don't think 16-10 represents any value. Number 5, Green Fame. Good improvement after arrest. Another suspect form line. But she does have some scope. I had a look at this race, and the filly that you are going to get another bold showing from is Villa Samaya. And who says she's not capable of winning a maiden, Cecil? Have a look at her form lines. Last time out, right, we all know what Francis Ethel has gone on to do. I mean, she's certainly franked that form. The second horse was Kissing Machine. She's franked that form. The 4th horse indirectly won, Say It With Roses. She placed and then she won. And the Work of Life has also won from that form. So there have been 4 winners from there. The 1st, the 2nd, the 4th and the 6th. Villa Samaya ran 7th. So on that form, she can win a race like this. Go to a penultimate start behind Regal Daughter. Cadizora won from there. Patches of Grey won from there. DeMarco's Jet and Darling Harbour. If any of those fillies were in this race, they could potentially win.
Oh, Darling Harbour ran a cracker in the Oaks. I think
yes,
ran 3rd or 4th.
She ran 3rd. Yeah, so Villa Samaya, at her current odds, I'm going to have a bet on her. I know she's had her chances in the past, but I think at 9-2, 5-1, she's worth a nibble. And I like her chances here. I hope she gets it right.
In a funny kind of way, we've agreed for the second time in a month about VSMI. This is the sort of race, but again, when you think it is coming, it may not come. Let's have a look at that jackpot as far as the selections. You've heard Mr. Marie, very sold, 2 and 4 by 2 and 3, and then it is 4 horses by 4 horses, and that is his suggested first jackpot, which starts in a race number 4, and as per ever, mindful of the outlay, just the 64 rand. Race 5 for hospitality bookings are called 011 6811796. It's a merit rated 72, handicap is over the 1200 meters. And of course, hospitality, think of the 6th of April. There will be 4 grade 1s and numerous graded supporting features. That is, of course, the Whirlpools Day, the first one on the Highveld. And if you want to know more about it, I'm sure Darren and Daryl will be giving you all the information. I can even contribute there. Get hold of us on our X handle or on a WhatsApp. Let's get to race number 5. Again, a trappy looking affair, but again, I'm going to be in the corner of a horse I liked the last time out, the 5 Pendragon. Just touched off by a heavily backed Palace Revolt. I think it was backed in from about 18 to 1 to start off as favourite on that occasion. That was the 29th of Feb. Was due to run on a Sunday, but did not make the trip out to Greyville, but takes up its place. As far as favoritism, it's with the Stu Pedigree train number 3, Faster Duty. That is a 3 to 1. The 2 Munchkin is at 7 to 2, and then the 5 Pendragon. Gavin Arena board once again 33 to 10 out to 7 to 2. Right, 2 and 3 were the numbers we saw in the second leg of the first jackpot. We're now into the first leg of the second jackpot, and Munchkin and Faster Duty were the 2 and the 3. Are they still the numbers in jackpot 2?
Cecil, you know, if you told me a couple of months ago that Munchkin's going to be racing off, 72, I would have said you've lost the plot.
Yeah.
So the son of Rafif has certainly let the side down. I'm sure his connections too. We've expected so much from him in the past, but Cecil, I'm going to sit here and say it's now or never for Munchkin. This is the right race, the right mark, the right jockey. Everything points to him getting it right this time around. You know, in his penultimate starts around the bend, he was caught 3 wide with Apprentice Trent Mayhew, and he was only beaten 3 lengths. Now he's got the top jockey in the iron. I think everything points to Munchkin notching up his second career victory. Am I going to say go out and lump on? No, because he is disappointing, and he's certainly not one to rely on. I've got respect for Pendragon. I know he's been victorious over the course and distance in the past. I just believe he's a better 1,000-meter horse. That's my opinion. If you do want to play wider, I certainly suggest adding in the 5, but I've only got numbers 2 and 3. Fast Duty, you know, without the blinkers, he's a much better sort. He just settles and he finishes his races off. He's going to have to pick it up in the straight because he's going to be dropped in from a wide draw. He does need a lot of luck in running, but he'll be doing his best work late. And if you take note, last time out, he did finish 3rd, but he was only beaten a length, and there was quite some distance back to the 4th placed runner. And even further down in that race was a horse called Sage King, who came out and ran 2nd in his start. So I think he is off a competitive mark. I was very close to bankering number 2 Munchkin because I am big in his camp, but I've just backed him up with Fast Duty.
All right, let's confirm Mr. Marie's jackpot 2. It is 2 and 3 now. Maybe this is an omen. Last time Munchkin was beaten by Kian the Conqueror, Munchkin came out and won the next time out because it was on a Summer Cup day, a couple of Summer Cups back, and the word was Lucky has sent out, will be sending out the best sprinter in the stable, and Kian the Conqueror had different ideas with Marco van Rensburg aboard, so maybe the omens are there that we're back to winning ways. Right, that is jackpot 2, off time at 2:45. Okay, so we're now moving on to race number 6, and yes, before we even touch on it, it is the favorite to be partnered by Richard Fourie. Fani Bronkhorst is the man who has given Richard that favorite, and that is the Ultra. And I think I don't use that word lightly. Rosie Lemon, who is at 28 to 10, a slight drift out from the 5 to 2. Also drifting is the 5 Donna Moe, 33 to 10 out from 3 to 1. 11 to 2 out from 5 to 1 is the 7. Pretty in Pearls. 13-2. That is 8, Ryan's Dream, and then it's 15-2 and Better Bar those. Well, I think you as a horse owner in your life, in your love for the horse racing industry or the game, would have loved to own a horse like Rosie Lemon.
Yes. You know, she obviously took some time to strengthen up and get to the right distance, but since she stepped over this sort of ground, she's been very consistent. And who says she's not capable of going on with things? Yeah, she's improving as a 4-year-old, Cecil. So Richard Free on a filly off a competitive mark, you have to have health respect for her. She does appear to have the beating of Pretty in Pearls on the Princess Kesh run, but when you go back to the 2nd of January, Pretty in Pearls certainly does have the opportunity of reversing that form. So I've included both of them. I think Samanga Kamalo, although he hasn't really featured on Flag Bearer in the past, he's ridden him twice and finished unplaced on both of those occasions. But I'm of the opinion the son of Flying the Flag actually needs a strong rider. And yeah, you go having Samanga Kamalo being booked on him. He's having his peak run, better than his later starts. I think of a 66. Don't be surprised to see him spring somewhat of a surprise over here. If you are playing wider in your perms, please include number 9, Flag Bearer. I think he is better than his later starts. I'm leaning towards number 5 over here, Donamo. Now, last time out in her post-maiden run, she was made to work from a wide draw. I think from a neat draw this time around, maybe she can be ridden a little bit more conservatively and patiently, and we can see her improve on that effort. Go back in her form, Cecil. She's run to Princess Easy, Sukhumvit, Midwinter Wind. They've all gone on with it. Who says she's not capable of doing the same? So I'm leaning towards the 5, Donamo here. Respect for numbers 4. What is it? 4, 5? No, 4.
9.
4, 7, and 9.
Four,
So
seven.
5 from 4, 7, and 9.
Can I just ask you? I mean, I know you're the tipster, and I'm not in any way demeaning your selections, and they could prove to be on the mark. What is the matter with the horse that you've bridged there using old racing parlance? Ryan's a Dream. When you look at that form coming down in the handicap, drawn 7, the Sable is in form. Last run was 5.5 lengths behind subsequent classic winner. Muzieni is getting the rides. He retains the ride. Just why are you putting me off Ryan Street?
Because he cost me a living fortune last time out. That was my money on him. Yeah, so he's been rested since then. I'm not too sure. I'm playing with a needle.
Yes, okay.
I'm playing with a needle.
Okay. All right. Let's confirm. Now, in race number 6, what would you suggest we do here? What sort of bet would you suggest we do? Pick 3?
We did a pick 3, yeah.
Let's have a look at that pick 3. 4, 5, 7, and 9. And it's then 3 and 8, and the 5 and 7. 16 Rand is the outlay. So you have got some latitude to add or subtract in that last pick 3, which starts race number 6. Race 7 is a very competitive affair, certainly worthy of looking forward to race number 7, the penultimate on the afternoon, and last chance to get involved in a double. 4 o'clock should be the off time to our penultimate event, 2 ipso facto. Our runner just on a Saturday is a non, so that leaves us a field of 8, and your favorite is the 3, Say Yes, who's at 5-2, 28-10 is the 8, LMB. That is reunited with Mr. Richard Fourie after their exploits on Guinea's Day, and then next time out it was Ryan Manga, but nearly pulled it off on Guinea's Day. Then it's the 1 Benetti at 9-2, 11-2, and Better Bar though. Striker gets a ride on the 1 Benetti, first time ever for Striker on Benetti. The 3, Say Yes, we liked last time out when beaten by Terror Time. I say we, because the commentator on the day at the VAR also agreed that that was the one to beat. But of course, you like to look at your history, and that run behind a Street Art, another game effort behind what was a shoe-in. Hindsight is an exact science on Saturday. That was Shoemaker.
Yes, well, I mean, Say Yes, she's really done well on the Highveld. She does make it a bit difficult for her in that she has to be switched off and and be given a chance. So I don't foresee anything changing on Thursday. I mean, she's drawn out wide, so all depends on the pace and if the race is run to suit her. If it is, yes, you can see on form she's certainly got a winning chance. I had a look at the race, Cecil, with regards to the pace. If Escape Artist doesn't go, you could potentially see Striker on Bonete dictating. And you know, when he dictates up front, he's a legend. He's very hard to pick back if he gets it right. So she's super fit. She's carrying 62 kilograms. I don't think you want to be giving them weight and start. So I do expect her to push forward. She's very, very fit. I like LMB. Now, in her penultimate start, we all recall that race. She was very unlucky. And then last time out, maybe it was just a bit of a flat second run after a rest. It was also over a mile. Maybe she's looking for further now. So peak run, Richard will certainly want to set the record straight. I mean, in his penultimate start, I'm sure he'll be the first to admit that he should have won on that occasion. He's ridden her twice for 2 seconds. Third time lucky for Richard. I'm going to be leaning towards number 8, LMB, but I do have respect for number 1, Bonete, number 4, Belvard, who had excuses last time out, and then the obvious one, number 3, Say Yes.
So it'll be 1, 3, 4, and 8, would it?
Yes, but in the double, I'm only going numbers 3 and 8.
3 and 8, and that is where we wrap up our preview for race number 7. It is the last chance to get involved in a double, and Mr. Marie has gone the extra mile for us. He's put together a double, so we've had every exotic possible, courtesy of Daryl. We thank him for that. That is confirmed that it is 3 and 8 by 5 and 7. It is going to be a good afternoon's racing. It is a Thursday meeting before we are back at Turffontein once again on a Saturday. That is race number 7. A tab telebet 0861 000 822 feeders and mares 90 over the 1800.